Hello, Justice Warriors. Anna Bean, you made me laugh. She's hardly ever late. Yeah, thanks for that. I don't know if you're being serious or if you're slamming me, but either way, I don't like to be late. I like to on time. Thought I gave myself plenty of time, but I had to make another cup of tea and getting that news about OJ Simpson. I don't want to waste time on that guy. I think the world has wasted enough time on that guy. Not to be too freaking heartless, but good riddance. And hopefully the families of the victims can get some of their money, the $31 million that he owes them. They probably have yet to see a dime. Maybe they got some through the whole process of, his paraphernalia and all that. But his kids, my heart just breaks for Justin is his son's name, I think, and I'm forgetting his daughter's name if anybody remembers and wants to put it in there. They were home when that happened to their mother. They were allegedly asleep upstairs, but they probably woke up. I mean, crazy. Enough time wasted on that dirt bag. And again, I'm sorry if I seem heartless. He's just a pig, in my opinion. Just another narcissist. And I was trying to focus on a different narcissist. Oh, poor Meredith Kercher, the one in the thumbnail. People don't know her name. People don't know her face. They know Foxy Knoxy. And that's the way Amanda Knox likes it. So she's back in the news. And I hope this blows up in her face. She's going to court in Italy to try to clear her name of any and all wrongdoings. And man, is she pushing her luck, in my humble opinion. And let me get started with all that jazz. Let me see what I got going on in the picture down here. What is this little white thing in the corner? Here we go. Oh, that's part of the picture of Marlon Brando. Anyway, focus. Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to have a conversation, start a conversation, have a really rich discussion. I do have some more time today than I had yesterday, so that's nice. And every video that I've made to date has been made for YouTube. It's an education platform. However, I aim to be educational for myself and others. I appreciate you guys being here, whether you're lurking or in the chat or on the replay. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for making me feel important. So, yeah, I did read through the chat up until this point, and I'm going to try to breeze through it again so I can try to stay on top of the chat. And also, I have the letter of what Amanda Knox wrote herself when she was arrested in November of 2007 for the unaliving of Meredith Kercher, which personally I'm convinced that she did it and had her boyfriend help. I feel like he's a victim of hers too. That's my opinion. And we already went over all that. Everything I say is simply my opinion. And I have not seen this letter. So like I said, girl is hopefully pushing her luck and it'll blow up in her face because there's so much evidence against her. It's insane. And it's like she's just so freaking greedy. She doesn't know when to stop. And her touring with the Innocence Project, that killed me. That absolutely killed me. I wanted to see that guy, Dean Gillespie, speak, except Amanda Knox was headlining. And I'm like, I'm not buying a ticket that she's going to get money from. Forget it. Forget about it. Who are you talking about, Miss? I'm talking about Amanda Knox. Who's she been talking to? Wait, am I missing something? Hold on. There she is. Did she start in the middle of a sentence for anyone else? I probably did, but the sentence was just like the hello stuff. But yeah, I noticed that too. I was trying to wait. And who's she been talking to? Pookie's Grammy. Mr. Pookie's Grammy. What's up? I don't recognize your handle. Nice to meet you. So Christine and Anna Bean, I thought she already cleared. She implicated the owner of the bar that she worked for. And so I think he was suing her for defamation. And so she's trying to hit back. You know, that was the first black man that she tried to get in trouble. And then she got the other black man in trouble. So Rudy, who served 21 years for the unaliving, he was a known rug dealer. So he didn't really have a chance up against the system and up against little Miss Amanda Knox batting her eyelashes for the world. She, to me, is like a female Charles Manson. She really is. I saw her in person once in downtown Seattle, and that's when I thought she was innocent, but she still had really bad vibes, really bad energy. I mean, I saw her from a distance and I could pick up on it. And it's not like I'm one of these people that sees auras and stuff like that. She just emanates rancid crap, you know, the way those types do. Can she see us? Yes. I don't know. Okay. Hit the like on your way in and on your way out. Please make sure you're still subscribed if you are subscribed. And if you're not, consider it. Share the video if you like it. Turn on your notification bell to ring. And there's the creepy favored thumb. And I do have my mic on too. Is it working? So there's the like button if you want to hit that. Much appreciation. I'm going to get up to speed with you. I am going to be giving away the little Bobo tea earrings. You guys have probably seen some like this around in the shops. Are they so adorable and silly? They have a little big straw and everything. So I thought how appropriate for us Kylie Rodney supporters with the whole Bobo tea thing. So I'll be giving those away, I think, to the first commenter at the end of the video. So once it's on replay, the first person to type something into the comment section will win the Bobo earrings, Bobo tea earrings. And then so just email me your address if you see that you're the first one. And I'll probably make a comment underneath you and say, please make sure you email me your address. That would be great. I did get Annie Ruler's address so I can send her Evian tiny water bottle earrings for her birthday gift and get those in the mail later today or tomorrow. Anyway, I'm going to get caught up. I'm going to start reading this letter. You guys are going to have your minds blown. I'm going to take a lay. Love you all. Thanks for being here. Hit that thumbs up. Feel better. Oh, Shan, I'm sorry that I was wondering where you were last night. Yeah. All right. So, yes, congrats, Andy Ruler. Always thought Amanda Knox was sus. Yeah, if you are not that familiar with the evidence against her, I would highly recommend True Crime Rocket Science, who's written 3 books on the case. And I feel like I got educated by him. I got schooled on, things as simple as a kitchen knife that was found in a drawer at Amanda's boyfriend's house that had Meredith Kercher's red stuff on it. Like that. Things as simple as that. Anyway, let's get down to this handwritten statement to police on the evening of November 6th, the day Amanda Knox was arrested. You're going to have your minds blown if you haven't already been privy to this. And even if you have, here we go. This is all in quotes. This is her words. This is very strange, I know, but really what happened is as confusing to me as it is to everyone else. I have been told there is hard evidence saying I was at the place of the murder of my friend when it happened. This, I want to confirm, is something that to me, if asked a few days ago, would be impossible. So her writing skills are not the best, but I also think there's a lot of rugs involved in what happened and in her thought process, because she does have an education. And that paragraph wasn't so bad, but it was, she's really distancing herself, saying that I was at the place of the murder of my friend when it happened. That's her house. It happened in her house. And it's not just her friend, it's her roommate. Okay. I will be having to jump in at times, so I'll apologize in advance. I know that Raphael or Rafaela, I'm not sure how you say his name, the boyfriend, but um, I know that Raphael, I'll just say however I say it, has placed evidence against me saying that I was not with him on the night of Meredith's Red Rum. But let me tell you this, in my mind, there are things I remember and things that are confused. My account of this story goes as follows, despite the evidence stacked against me. And then colons. On Thursday, November 11th, wait, no, on Thursday, November 1st, I saw Meredith. It looked like two ones next to each other. I'm like, November 11th? What? Okay. On Thursday, November 1st, I saw Meredith the last time at my house when she left around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Raphael was with me at the time. Raphael and I, stayed at my house for a little while longer, and around 5 in the evening, we left to watch the movie Amelie at his house. I remember that movie. That was all the rage. Cute movie, but twisted to watch such a cute, lighthearted movie on such an evening. After the movie, I received a message from Patrick. That's the man that she slandered, the bar owner, who was kind of firing her and trying to hire Meredith, allegedly. Because she was a flake, and I think she was sleeping with all the clients at the bar, allegedly. Okay. For whom I work at the pub Le Chic. He told me in this message that it wasn't necessary for me to come into work for the evening because there was no one at my work. Now, I remember to have also replied with the message, colon and quotes, "See you later, have a good evening," exclamation point, end quote. And this for me does not mean that I wanted to meet him immediately, in particular because I said, quote, "good evening," end quote. What happened after I know does not match up with what Raphael was saying, but this is what I remember. I told Raphael that I didn't have to work and that I could remain at home for the evening. After that, I read or studied, or perhaps I made love to Raphael. In fact, I think I did make love with him. However, I admit that this period of time is rather strange because I am not quite sure. I smoked marijuana with him and I might have even fallen asleep. These things I am not sure about, and I know they are important to the case and to help myself, but in reality, I don't think I did much. One thing I do remember is that I took a shower with Raphael, and this might explain how we passed the time. In truth, I do not remember exactly what day it was, but I do remember that we had a shower and we washed ourselves for a long time. He cleaned my ears, he dried and combed my hair. One of the things I am sure that definitely, she sounds like a puppy dog, huh? One of the things I am sure that definitely happened that night on which Meredith was red-rummed was that Raphael and I ate fairly late, I think around 11 in the evening, although I can't be sure because I didn't look at the clock. After dinner, I noticed there was red stuff on Raphael's hand, but I was under the impression that it was red stuff from the fish. After we ate, Raphael washed the dishes, but the pipes under his sink broke and water flooded the floor. Oh, how interesting. What a quinky dink. But because he didn't have a mop, I said we could clean it up tomorrow because we, Meredith, Laura, Philomena, and I, have a mop at home. I remember it was quite late because we were both very tired, though I can't say the time. The next thing I remember was waking up in the morning of Friday, November 2nd, around 10 a.m. I took a plastic bag to take back my dirty cloths, my dirty cloths. Oh, that's a big difference, actually, because it sounds like they were cleaning up. Okay, let's see, breaking the sink and everything. I took a plastic bag to take back my dirty cloths to go back to my house. It was then that I arrived home that I found the door to my house was wide open, and this all began. In regards to this, quote, confession, end quote, that I made last night, I want to make clear that I'm very doubtful of the verity of my statements because they were made under pressure of stress, shock, and extreme exhaustion. Not only was I told I would be arrested and put in jail for 30 years, but I was also hit in the head when I didn't remember a fact correctly. I understand that the police are under a lot of stress, so I understand the treatment I received. However, it was under this pressure and after many hours of confusion that my mind came up with these answers. In my mind, I saw Patrick in flashes of blurred images. I saw him near the basketball court. I saw him at my front door. I saw myself cowering in the kitchen with my hands over my ears because in my head, I could hear Meredith screaming. But I've said this many times so as to make myself clear. These things seem unreal to me, like a dream. I am unsure if they are real things that happened or just dreams my head has made to try to answer the questions in my head and the questions I am being asked. But the truth is, I am unsure about the truth, and here's why. 1, the police have told me that they have hard evidence that places me at the house, my house, at the time of Meredith's red rum. I don't know what proof they are talking about, but if this is true, it means I am very confused and my dreams must be real. 2, my boyfriend has claimed that I have said things that I know are not true. I know I told him I didn't have to work that night. I remember that moment very clearly. I also never asked him to lie for me. This is absolutely a lie. What I don't understand is why Raphael, who has always been so caring and gentle with me, always in the 6 days that she's been screwing him, would lie about this. What does he have to hide? I don't think he killed Meredith, but I do think he is scared like me. He walked into a situation that he has never had to be in, and perhaps he is trying to find a way out by disassociating himself with me. Honestly, I understand because this is a very scary situation. I know that the police don't believe things of me, and I know I can explain, such as 1, I know the police are confused as to why it took me so long to call someone after I found the door to my house opened and read stuff in the bathroom. The truth is, I wasn't sure what to think, but I definitely didn't think the worst, that someone was red-rummed. I thought a lot of things, mainly that perhaps someone got hurt and left quickly to take care of it. I also thought that maybe one of my roommates was having menstrual problems and hadn't cleaned up. Perhaps I was in shock, but at the time I didn't know what to think, and that's the truth. That is why I talked to Raphael about it in the morning, because I was worried and wanted advice. 2, I also know that the fact that I can't fully recall the events that I claim took place at Raphael's home during the time that Meredith was red-rummed is incriminating. And I stand by my statements that I made last night about events that could have taken place in my home with Patrick. But I want to make very clear that these events seem more unreal to me than what I said before, that I stayed at Raphael's house. 3, I'm very confused at this time. My head is full of contrasting ideas, and I know I can be frustrating to work with for this reason, but I want to tell the truth as best I can. Everything I have said in regards to my involvement in Meredith's death, even though it is contrasting, are the best truth that I have been able to think. Okay. And then there's an illegible section that's in parentheses. And then we get on with, I'm trying, I really am, because I'm scared for myself. I know that I didn't kill Meredith. That's all I know for sure. In these flashbacks that I'm having, I see Patrick as the red rummer, but the way the truth feels in my mind, there is no way for me to have known because I don't remember for sure if I was at my house that night. The questions that need answering, at least for how I'm thinking, are 1, why did Raphael lie? And then in parentheses, or for you, in parentheses, did Raphael lie? 2, why did I think Patrick? 3, Is the evidence proving my presence at the time and place of the crime reliable? If so, what does this say about my memory? Is it reliable? 4. Is there any other evidence condemning Patrick or any other person? 3. Yeah, it goes 3, 4, 3. Who is the real murderer? And actually, it's just who is the real murder. This is particularly important because I don't feel I can be used as condemning testimony in this instance. I have a clear mind that I've had before, but I'm still missing parts, which I know is bad for me. But this is the truth, and this is what I'm thinking at this time. Please don't yell at me because it only makes me more confused, which doesn't help anyone. I understand how serious the situation is, and as such, I want to give you this information as soon and as clearly as possible. If there are still parts that don't make sense, please ask me. I'm doing the best I can, just like you are. Please believe me, at least in that, although I understand if you don't. All I know is that I didn't unalive Meredith, so I have nothing but lies to be afraid of. Oh, she's so confident in her confusion, is she not? Let's see. There were a couple of points I wanted to go back and look at with you, but let's see what you guys are saying. Sorry, y'all. I have to take my daughter to work. Have a wonderful day. I'm glad I came back to your channel today. It's been a while. Did you have a different name, or am I just not remembering if you're still here? Either way, have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Bye, MP. And have a good day, Mr. Pookie's grandma. Weird ass letter. Yeah. You know, your comment, Christine, reminds me of OJ's comment. I ain't never wear no ugly ass shoes like that. You know, the shoes that then the National Enquirer had a picture of him wearing. What were they? Bruno Mali shoes. Very expensive Italian shoes that there were very few made in his size. I think it was a size 13. Anyway, weird ass letter indeed. Contrasting ideas, alibis, right. And she didn't want to say contradicting. Confused mental breakdown after committing a traumatic act. Well, and definitely they were using a lot of rugs, a lot of party favors. I think the soda pop was one of them. And obviously the green stuff, because she mentions that. And, you know, these are college kids in Italy. And it wouldn't surprise me if there was things like shrooms involved or hallucinogens, ecstasy. I mean, yeah, I guess they call that Molly now. Did she clear this letter via her attorney? Bex, she did not have an attorney at that point. I don't think it was when she was initially arrested. And we do have to remember too that the laws are very different in Italy. So they don't have the same rules as us. So, you know, so I don't know how all that goes with, like, you know, they're not going to have like the Mirandizing people. They're not going to say things like, you know, if you can't afford an attorney, an attorney will be appointed for you. I don't think. It's a completely different set of laws. And essentially, I think the way many other courts operate, and this is what makes ours better in some people's minds, like mine, is that in other countries, you are considered guilty unless you can prove yourself innocent in court, I think. That's essentially, just to break it down in the simplest terms, that our country is the only one that you're considered innocent until the court can prove you guilty. So she was living in Italy as a student, as an American student, and she was pretty out of control as far as the partying goes. She was out of money. Rent was due. Meredith had money. Meredith was a much calmer person. And there was a guy that lived in the downstairs apartment that was one of the many dudes that Amanda bagged, as far as I know. And then he and Meredith had struck up an actual real relationship. So there was, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, right? I mean, that can be said in a lot of our cases. That might be true for Scammy, um, and NK in the Watts case. Anyway, back to this case. Um, there, Meredith and the boyfriend that lived downstairs, they were both musicians and they were writing songs together. I think Amanda had a guitar and was trying to learn how to play. Anyway, she met Raphael, if I'm saying his name right. I think he says it differently because of the country that he's from. And I can't remember if he's from Italy or from another country, but Sciotto, I think is his last name. So that sounds Italian. Um, they met at a concert, like a orchestra type of concert, like with violins and such. And they locked eyes, they sat next to each other, and then, you know, they did the deed. For her, that was a regular thing. I think it was his first time. They were inseparable for 6 days, and then this happened. That's kind of the condensed version of it. And then CNN stepped in because this was a great news media circus and everybody wanted to know everything. And CNN was the news station delivering to the mainland what was going on over there with the college student from University of Washington, which is a really good school in Seattle. UW is what they call it. She went to a prep school in Seattle that was very expensive. Her family wasn't wealthy, but they had means. They were homeowners. Back then you didn't have to be a millionaire to be a homeowner in Seattle. And they lived in West Seattle, which was kind of like not as much as high status as other parts of Seattle. Some people back then didn't even consider West Seattle to be Seattle. Anyway, she went to the expensive boarding school on Capitol Hill. I think she had a scholarship that might have paid half of the tuition or maybe all of the tuition. I think she did very well academically. She got accepted into the University of Washington, and then she went away on this year in Italy. And then this happened, I think, 6 weeks in. So like I said, she was stressed out. She was probably spending all of her money on party favors, and rent was due November 1st. She didn't have it. She got canceled from work. She knew that Patrick was trying to get Meredith to work there. Meredith didn't feel like she had time. She was interested, but she was kind of putting him off, like, well, yeah, I'll work for you, but let's talk about it next month or something, basically. So here he is trying to rope Meredith in and trying to get rid of Amanda. And, it probably wasn't true that there were no customers at the bar that night. But either way, she needed the money to pay the rent and she got canceled from work. And yeah, that's stressful. When you're expecting to go to work, like it can be nice to have the time off, but you're already like ready to go and you want your cash and then you're canceled. Like, that's a slap in the face. So I feel like she slapped back by implicating him when it didn't work because he was at the bar. Oh, right. And there were a lot of people there. That's right. There were many, many people that could vouch for him. So yeah, he did lie to her about there not being customers. Although maybe there were no customers when he canceled her and then they all came in right after that. Anyway, he was cleared. And then she pointed the finger at Rudy. And like I said, he was a party favor dealer. He hung out with the guys that lived in the apartment downstairs in this house. It was kind of like a duplex. I think there were 4 roommates on the top floor that she was in that were all female, and then 4 guys downstairs. So that was the way the little villa was designed. And Rudy was hanging out with the guys downstairs. And then, this happened on November 1st, which is the day after Halloween. But I think Italy is one of those countries that it's the day after Halloween that they celebrate the way our college kids would celebrate on Halloween. And it's a lot of partying, right? It's a lot of substances and alcohol. So So yeah, I think that things got out of hand. You know what the um not the police chief, I forget what they call them over there, like the police chief basically. He thought that this was like an sex game gone awry. And it seems to me that that is likely what it was. It was an assault. She was cut with a sharp instrument 7 times. Two of those were fatal, I think, or potentially fatal. She had some defensive wounds on her hands. I think she was either completely nude or mostly nude. I'm pretty sure that her undergarments were on the floor next to her. I mean, if you look up the case on, if you just Google it, there's a lot of photographs of the crime scene. There was a lot of red stuff, but a lot of it had been cleaned up. So there is one footprint that was her boyfriend's footprint in the red stuff. And then there were latent footprints, I think, that were hers. It's been a long time since I've studied the case, but I am glad that she's going to be pushing this into the courts, that she is pushing this into the courts over there in Italy, because as much as CNN will be footing the bill like they always did, so they paid court costs, they paid attorney's fees, they paid travel expenses, because this was an investment for them. And the Italians hate Americans, and this is a college town. I think the way you say the name of the town is Perugia. I think it's Perugia, right? Anyway, it's a university town that is like international. And to have an American student do what was done is just like so bad for our country. It's sort of like being at the University of Idaho and having the people in your town, maybe like your authorities or your fraternity brothers, allegedly, involved in something like what happened in Idaho, in Moscow on November 12th, 2022. So, you know, put it on somebody else. You know, crimes against white women have been blamed on black men historically in our country. There are many cases like that. You know, I don't even want to go there, but that's essentially what happened to Rudy. So Rudy got out of prison, I think, a year or two ago after serving his 21 years or however many was required of him. And I believe he's writing a book, and I believe he is furious with Amanda. Let me see if Mookie wants to come in and talk about all this with us. Hold on. Come here, baby. Oh, come here. Come here, Coco. We got a Coco visitor. Come here, baby. Go back here. If you can. Can you? Oh, come here. Let me see. Come here, baby. Oh, I've been wanting to get her on screen with you guys. Let me see if this will work. This might be rough. Come here, baby. Here, come here. Here, I'll take off your collar. I'll take off your cone so you can be seen for the beauty that you are. And she'll probably jump right up onto my lap. Come here, baby. Come on. Coco, up. Up. Come here. Come here, baby. Oh, come here. Come here. Oh, she's so cute. You guys can't see her. Come here, honey. Come on. She thinks she's a lap dog. She wants to just go under my chair. I could like move the camera so that you could see her, but it'd get all messed up. Oh, you're such a love bug. She gets her stitches out tomorrow. Such a love bug. Yes, you are. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Got it. Forgot this is in Italy. Yeah. Well, and you know, she's one of these Americans who's like, well, you can't do things non-American in not America. You know, like she literally thinks that she can superimpose her country's laws onto the country that she's in. It's like, no, that's not how it works, baby. Something we all need to keep in mind when we're traveling internationally. It can be dangerous for a lot of reasons. My first question is why Patrick, if he was about to hire the deceased, Well, she was just trying to point the finger at anybody. And yeah, like that to me was like payback for him trying to replace her, taking her job away and trying to give it to Meredith. Um, and let's see, Mookie and Coco. Yeah, yeah. She might be sore. She's been taking pain medicine every day, twice a day, ever since it happened. And she might be sore, but I think she's doing pretty well. It's just that she's 40 pounds. She's not a lap dog, and I'm sitting on a small chair, so she'd have to be like right on my lap. If I was on a couch or a big, like overstuffed chair, she would come on up. But let me see. Come here, baby. Come here. Come on. Come here, Coco. Come on up. Come on. Come on, baby. Up. Coco. She's like, what are you talking about, Mama? She's not doing it. Okay. Come here, baby. Come here. Can I pull you out? Oh, Mookie's like, I'll come. I'll be a ham in front of a camera. Is there a camera? Was Coco getting attention? There. I just want to show you guys my cute little puppy dogs that I love so much. And yeah, Coco's right down here. Like, I don't know. Like I said, if I move the screen, it'll take me a while to get everything back to normal. So I don't think I should touch it. We'll get Coco in the picture maybe the next time. Oh, she's so cute. She's such a love bug. Mwah. So yeah, her situation, we will get more clarity at the vet appointment tomorrow when we get her stitches removed. But for the meantime, there's a Mooker, there's a Chewini. So both of these dogs have a lot of Cocker Spaniel in them, actually, which is hilarious because we had no idea. We did the little DNA testing on them. Anyway, okay, we got the dogs. Xena, Princess Warrior. So yeah, Coco has a lot of lumps that she's had for a long time, and the vet has always said that they were just fatty tissue. And so then that one, like, that was so bad and got removed. And so our fear is that some of the other lumps might not just be fatty tissue. So that's what we'll have to discuss. And then the radiation or chemotherapy. I think radiation is what they were saying for her. It will be one of the options to try to prevent a regrowth because I don't think they were able to get everything when they did the surgery. So that's the part that's really difficult to comprehend and live with and figure out. So where is my notebook? I had all these other great notes to share with you guys, and I threw it on the ground when I thought I could get Coco and Mookie into the picture. So I wanted to talk more about that, but I also wanted to clear some stuff up from yesterday. Matthew Kurt was the Wazoo sergeant that was forced to resign November 4th of 2012, 9 days prior to the unaliving. Did I say November 12th a few minutes ago for the unaliving? It was November 13th, right? And of 2022. So the other guy with Matthew Kurt that was put on trial that worked for Pullman PD. And guess what I've learned about Jenkins? You guys are going to freak out. You're going to think I'm hallucinating. Okay, so Dan Hargraves was the sergeant that was tried for his predatory behavior and completely assaulting an inebriated, medically compromised 18-year-old. That trial happened, or I think it ended on 9/19/19, so September 19th of 2019. And so that was Pullman PD, but Dan Hargraves had Matthew Kurt with him, with that girl. And I don't think she remembers much of when Matthew Kurt was there too. probably because of the trauma and what had happened. She probably disassociated and blocked it out. And maybe she blacked out because she was really drunk, which is how this disgusting freak, Dan Hargraves, got her into his claws to begin with. Well, so he picked her up and threatened her, took her to her dorm room and said, "Don't leave." And then she left, and it might have been Matthew Kurt. It might have been the Wazoo police that then found her. And then when he found out, then that's when the assaults happened. But I'm pretty sure that they both assaulted her, and I'm pretty sure that she knows that they both assaulted her, that there just wasn't enough evidence to try the other guy, probably because, like I said, the blacking out or the blocking out. But absolutely disgusting, that type of predatory behavior. So Jenkins, the police chief that interviewed Koberger, April 12th of 2022, and then shortly thereafter, he retired, which he had been planning to do, because none of this stuff was a surprise. They knew that the command staff was going to be forced to resign. And, the whole thing with Matthew Kurt had been going on for years. It took a long time for all that to percolate. The crimes that he committed, that he was in trouble for, that they all were forced to resign for, had happened a couple of years prior. So then it was like 2021 that the university started really putting the screws to the department. Anyway, so Jenkins, after he retired from Pullman PD, was then hired as interim chief at Wazoo. And he's probably still the police chief there. I'm about 100% sure he's still the police chief. I'm just not sure if he's interim anymore or if he's considered permanent. I would think permanent, since it's been, 2 years now, almost coming up on 2 years. Anyway, he allegedly worked security in a setting where he met Epstein and Bill Clinton and a bunch of other high profile elite sex cult types. Allegedly. I'll put my sources in the description. I was mind blown. I had no idea. I only learned about that this morning, and I was just like, why does that not surprise me? And how does that tie in with Bohemian Grove? Because I'm pretty sure that most presidents are part of Bohemian Grove, are presidents of the United States. What about presidents of colleges? I hadn't thought of that. I bet if they're a billionaire, they are. Wow. Yeah, we need to look for his name on that list that Shan dug up. So let's see. Shan did a great short. She put out, I think, a half a dozen shorts last night. She did a lovely one of channels for Kylie. YouTube content creators that are fighting for justice for Kylie. And I felt so honored to be mentioned as one of them. And I did want to give a huge shout out to a couple that I had texted her about and said, did you forget these two? Crime Watch with Kenny, of course, and Prophetic Forensics. And she said that the framework that she had only allowed 10 and that she wanted to put them in, but she'll come up with a way to give them shout outs too. And I'm sure there's a few others. So my apologies to anyone who got left out, because that's no fun. But, it happens, unfortunately, especially if there's only 10 slots. So let's see. What else did I really want to talk with you guys about? I wanted to talk with you more about all the crazy with P. Diddy and R. Kelly and Aaliyah, because you guys might not understand if you don't know too much about those crimes that were committed and the evidence against them. But in the R. Kelly, Surviving R. Kelly series, which is 3 seasons, and I'm almost finished with season 2. And I wrote down one of the girls' names so that you guys can Google it if you want. Joycelyn SAVAGE. Joycelyn SAVAGE. made a 2-minute video for her parents and the world, sitting on a park bench with her hands in her lap, telling everybody that she was really happy to leave her alone and to go away and that nobody needed to worry about her. A 2-minute pre-recorded video that was then released to like mainstream media and the family. Joycelyn SAVAGE. And so that video is in season 2, episode 5, and it's at the 21-minute mark of season 2, episode 5. That video is so much like the one that was released by Kate Middleton. And I know there's a ton of news right now saying, Kate's fine. She just has the cancer, nothing to worry about. Which, no, if you have the cancer, you have a lot to worry about. I mean, come on, let's be real. What happened to OJ in prison? He just passed from cancer. But just that whole video of Joycelyn sitting on the park bench, speaking so robotically, and everything was still except her hands, just like someone else. So it reminds me a lot of like a hostage proof of life situation. And that's exactly what I fear for Kate Middleton, if she is still of this earth, which I really question if she is, because why have we only seen not her? And why is the public being informed that they're not going to see hide nor hair of her for a very long time? Like, well, how do you know she's not going to feel like coming out and talking to people next week or later today? I mean, what, she's not allowed? Or she can't? I mean, she's basically a hostage, in my opinion. I'm very concerned about her. Very, very, very concerned. So there were 48 victims named. Yesterday I said 48 or 50. I wasn't sure. At least 48 in the SEX cult with R. Kelly in the lawsuits that came around, the last set of lawsuits that he is serving jail time for now. Many of the 48 were underage, you guys. Many of the 48 were underage. He, like a lot of guys, prefers underage females. So that's what puts a situation like us questioning what really happened to Kylie Rodney in such a dramatic and desperate, dire situation, is that he's not the only predator that likes underage girls. That's like a thing. In fact, it's like a club. And that Bohemian Grove, what do you want to bet that one of those factions of Bohemian Grove, one or more, is specifically for that type of fetish? And it's criminal behavior. If someone's below the age of consent, they're below the age of consent, then there's no such thing as consent. And you can lie and say you didn't know how old they were, but ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law. Otherwise, every criminal alive can just say, well, I didn't know. Who does that sound like? I didn't know. I didn't know. Why? They're so little. They're like this big. I didn't know is not an excuse at all. And it's right up there with I don't remember, in my opinion. So what else did I want to mention about Alec Baldwin back in the news, right? Oh, what a freaking... These narcissists, you guys, they just can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Like, they won't stop pushing their luck. So I think he's back in the news for intimidating witnesses. Shocking, isn't it? Not at all. I don't like being sarcastic, especially not even in real life, but especially on in content, because it's hard sometimes to know if someone's being sarcastic or not. So I apologize for that. I'll try to be more clear. Not surprising at all that Alec Baldwin has been consistently, allegedly threatening witnesses. And you don't even need to threaten witnesses. The threat is implied. You speak out and you will be blacklisted in Hollywood. The man is a heavy hitter. He's considered A-list. There's only a handful of Hollywood elites that are considered A-list, and he is one of them. He has done some good work in the past. However, his goose is cooked, and it's time for him to go down. He's taken himself down. Lurking, seeing red flags. Let's see. Yes, Tsunami may not be super active in my opinion, but she is in her knowledge. Did Truth Tsunami not get mentioned in there either? But I think that one of her other channels did. And I'm not that familiar with her other channels, but is one of these her other channel? Just my opinion. BoobTube TV, Seeker of Truth, or Tiff Justice for Kylie, because Truth Tsunami does, and that's how I know it's Sagali is her name, but when I couldn't say it, she told me that calling her Truth Tsunami was cool, that she liked it, so I just like calling her that. Anyway, is one of those 4 channels her? Because that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Annie Ruler, because yeah, we want to give her a huge shout out. And Casey was a really good Kylie channel, and unfortunately he stopped. I don't know if he got threatened or if he got bored or what have you, but I know there was a lot of disheartening things said about people who weren't heterosexual, so I don't even want to bring it up really. I don't like that stuff. Me hate. No time to hate. So many sus cases, so little time. Damn SOBs. Yeah, it's disgusting. So the good thing is that, the whole Me Too movement didn't really apply to Black culture. And I think a lot of us noticed that. But R. Kelly's case brings the Me Too movement to Black culture. And then P. Diddy is just like, the nails in the coffin. And it seems that Jay-Z is coming in right behind P. Diddy, or, maybe it's a tie, or maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of people that look really bad, and it's unfortunate. So I want to talk about Aaliyah because it might seem like a leap or a stretch when I say her demise 20 years ago, or over 20 years ago. I think it was 2001 when her plane crashed, and there were 9 people, including her, that passed away. One of them survived the crash, but then passed away a day or 2 later in the hospital, I think. And they were flying from the Bahamas to Miami. They had gone down there to do a music video. And it could have been sabotage on the jet, on the small Cessna, and it could have been, how do I want to say it? It could have been accidental, right? Could have been natural, accidental, self-inflicted. That's what it was. Natural, accidental, self-inflicted. There we go. Anyway, she did not want to get on that jet. She did not like flying. It was smaller than what she was used to. And, I'm the exact same way. I do not like the small planes. Like flying from Chicago to Ohio, sometimes they put you on a small little Cessna, and I get very, very motion sick very quickly on a small plane. I can get motion sick on a large plane. So I feel her pain, but she was texting with her boyfriend and said, I don't like the plane. I don't want to get on. He, I think, recommended that she didn't get on. And I think she texted him back and said, I have to get home. I've got a schedule, something like that. But there's stories that she was rugged and carried onto the plane, possibly. So, when you're dealing with that type of dark, evil elite that we are speaking of, they will do anything to protect their interests, anything. And life is not valued unless it's their own. So, in order to get her, they don't care how many people they have to take out. I mean, if you believe that Lady Diana was taken out by a sabotage, then same thing applies there. You know, the chauffeur and her boyfriend were also collateral damage, although I'm sure they wanted the boyfriend gone anyway. Um, and the chauffeur, you know, they probably like paid him and had him convinced that he was going to be fine or something. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stories, and I'm sure there's some people that believe that it was simply an accident caused by paparazzi. I've never bought into that. I've tried to just be like, you know, let's just try to trust the royals. It makes me laugh just saying it. Let's just try to trust the royal family. And so now even like mainstream media, CNN and Reuters and the Associated Press are all saying that the Royal Society is not a viable, reliable source of information. So that's a really polite, professional way of calling them liar, liar, pants on fire, right? Lenny Kravitz offered his plane. Oh, Sunset sacrificed. So, also think about P. Diddy's ex-wife, Kim Porter, that allegedly died of pneumonia at age 47. There's rumors that she was sacrificed. And I think her case is getting reopened. There's certainly people in her family that are fighting to try to get it reopened. So, yeah, I remember hearing about Lenny Kravitz offering his plane. Thank you for saying that, Sunset. Very cool. What a nice person to do that. And small plane from Milwaukee to Chicago was scary as hell. Well, and you know, Richie Valens and Buddy Holly passed away on a small plane from like Wisconsin. I think they were flying out at Alpine, where the Alpine amphitheater is. And yeah, I mean, as far as, you know, planes are very safe in general, and larger planes are safer than smaller planes, but it's usually mechanical error. Like in the Buddy Holly, Richie Valens case, it was a storm. But then, you know, it really makes me wonder when learning things about Aaliyah's passing. So Aaliyah was 22. R. Kelly had control of her from the time she was about 13, I think. By the time she was 15, he married her and forced her to have a pregnancy terminated. That was evidence of the felonies that he'd been committing. So she had family behind her, and they got the marriage annulled, and she was trying to move on with her life. She didn't want to press charges. She just wanted to keep moving forward. And then this happened. So I don't know. The system is rigged, Mr. Mark says. No notification, shadow banned. Nice to see you, Mark. How's your dog? I heard you saying that that Ripley is doing better, that he's not limping. So I hope that he's still doing better. Yeah. So Aaliyah is kind of like the protege of what happened to all of the people in the R. Kelly documentary series, The Surviving R. Kelly. And I'm going to guess that the stories are even worse than the ones that they tell. And the ones that they tell are like the worst stories I've ever heard. And I've heard really bad stories. So I was recommending Surviving R. Kelly yesterday for anybody who's interested. And, you know, I was not interested in hearing about all of that disgusting stuff, but I'm glad that I challenged myself anyway. And it was really the P. Diddy raids that finally got me motivated to check out the R. Kelly. And I'm glad that I've got the 2 seasons under my belt, and I'm looking forward to completing the 3rd season to see some justice pan out. I told you guys I did jump forward after season 1 because it was so gruesome. I went ahead and watched the very last episode of the last season because I just needed to get some resolve. It was like everything was just such a disgusting mess. And so that got me really hopeful about getting through the rest of it. And it was a lot easier to watch season 2, and I'm very interested to see season 3. And then somebody on YouTube has been making a series called Surviving P. Diddy, right? I don't know what channel that is, but I'll check that out once I've done all my R. Kelly homework and gotten up to speed. And I never really learned too much about Aaliyah, and I know I've heard people drop her name over the years and talk about Aaliyah this and Aaliyah that, and I had no idea what they were talking about, and suddenly it all makes sense. So let's see. Little plane from Nairobi to Tanzania was frightening. That had us shift our luggage to balance the plane. Oh my goodness. Money, power corrupts. Yep, absolutely. I agree. May I ask you why you comment and immediately retract each time? I'm curious. Bex is asking B, and yeah, I don't know if I'm seeing them, but yeah, I mean, people are, of course, free to comment and free to retract their comment. And I almost wonder if somebody's system, and B is one of them, if it happens automatically without them doing it, because I don't know that we've seen comments from B, but we've certainly seen a lot of retracted messages. So, you're welcome to say whatever you want. If it's sketchy, we'll have to address it. but I do want people to feel comfortable to speak their minds and speak their truths. And I just pulled my mic down, and don't you hate all the freaking cords that you have to have? I have so many cords for all my lights, cameras, action. And then the cord for my mic is super long, which, could be handy for some things, but for the most part, it's just too long. So I'm going to wrap it up so that doesn't happen again. And try to keep up with your comments here. One sec. Hopefully it won't happen again. It probably will. Let's see. Yeah, the luggage balancing the plane. That is so scary. And I guess if they demand that you remove your shoes, that's when you know you're going down. I can't imagine being in a plane crash. Turbulence freaks me out every time. I do not like to fly. Richie Valens is La Bamba. Yeah, exactly. That's a great movie, you guys. You probably have seen La Bamba, and you've probably seen Buddy Holly. Both excellent movies. Excellent music, excellent stories. I also highly recommend Elton John's Rocket Man. Came out a few years ago. And Queen, was it, what was the Queen movie called? It wasn't called Bohemian Rhapsody, or was it? Anyway, very educational, great acting, great music. All 4 of those excellent movies. And it's really interesting to learn, more about what was going on with these people. And so I've looked to see if there's any type of movie like that with Aaliyah. Wouldn't it be cool if someday there could be a movie like that with Kylie Rodney? But for the time being, I will settle gladly for an episode of 48 Hours, Dateline, or 2020. Please. The fact that none of them have highlighted Kylie Rodney's case adds to my suspicion of the conspiracy. Absolutely. Let's see. Spies. Spies telling on themselves. Well, why would anyone be spying on my little channel? I'm just a tiny little itty bitty desperate housewife, right? Dang, that whole thing. That was a funny show, though. Like, I was horrified when it came out and it was so popular. I was like, that's mean to make fun of women that are, chained to housework and their family. And it wasn't until 10 years after it came out that I watched it and realized what dark comedy it was. And I really enjoyed it. I, of course, then been watched all of it to get myself caught up. But people do like to make fun of housewives, right? Absolutely. And there's been times where I could consider myself that, being the mother of four. And I've always been very flexible with my career since I've had kids, like working part-time, full-time, more than full-time, or like right now. I mean, I feel like this is my work and my yoga is my work. Um, Although it's hard to say yoga is work, even though it's so much of a workout and it's so much work. It's such like amazing spiritual type of work. It's hard to call that work, but I am looking at it potentially as a part of my career because it's therapeutic and it's more like a lifestyle change. And I think for me to incorporate it into my lifestyle, I need to just completely immerse myself in it because I do have a goal of sticking with it. So that's why I'm putting my nose to the grindstone with it. I don't want to just like get through the program and then keep going the way that I used to live my life, which was thinking that I was doing yoga all the time. Like, yeah, I do yoga. Well, wait, when was the last time I went to a class? And I can tell myself that I do it at home, but I don't. If I sit down on my mat to do yoga at home, I might last 5 minutes. I'm just being honest. I mean, now if I go through my routine, which I need to go through, I need to iron out my cool down of my master class. Anyway, back to you guys. Uh, it's just nice to be fluid with what you do for work. And I'm going to put up the funniest meme that my 12-year-old daughter showed me. You guys will crack up. It's something like, women only make less money because they choose professions that pay less money than men. Like men choose like doctor, engineer, architect. Women choose female doctor, female engineer, female architect. And I was just like, whoa. Like I thought I knew where it was going and I just loved it. I thought that was so freaking funny. So I'm going to put that up as a community post later today. I still have my last post was the one of Christopher Stanio and his twin Matthew Stanio, and they're both law enforcement in the area. And it just kind of sunk in yesterday how that connection that they have could work in concert, in symphony with this whole system of trafficking. Mind blown. I know I jump all over the place from cases, but I'm just trying to put it together because I've sort of known about that underworld for a long time, but I also had chosen to ignore it. When I first learned about it, I really didn't believe if it was even true. So, may I ask you why you comment and immediately retract each time? Is that the last one I've highlighted as spies? I don't get the purpose of it. I didn't see Shan's, just know she is under radar. Hey, Annie Ruler, happy belated birthday. So I got your email, took a screenshot, ready to get your cute little earrings in the mail. And so to remind people, the Bobo tea earrings will be given to the first person to comment in the comment section once the live has wrapped up. Are those so freakishly cute? I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen these in the stores. They're kind of popular. And some of you probably haven't. And you're just like, oh my God, that is hilarious. It's got like the little like beans at the bottom and, the straw that's wide enough to suck up the beans. Anyway, that whole thing about Bobo tea with Scammy, that always bothered me. That was during the the celebration of life, and it was like the only thing that she really said about Kylie. Like she was just kind of rambling on about very vaguely about Kylie. And then, really the Bobo tea was all about her. It was all about her scoring some free Bobo tea because probably from the cute little boutique tea shop that Kylie worked at, I would imagine a Bobo tea in Tahoe could run you $9 easy, right? Probably more. And so Scammy was just so happy to be having a free Bobo tea with her frenemy. It was a weird story to tell at the celebration of life. And, her point in telling it, she ended with basically, I just want to sit and drink more Bobo tea with you after I like tackle you to the ground and give you more love than you've ever been given before. Very Chris Watts-ish, like how he talked about what he wanted to do with the little girls coming into the house in his imagination. Very, very similar, like eerily similar. Anyway, the Bobo tea, every time I see or hear about Bobo tea, which is a lot because it's a popular thing these days, I think about Kylie and I think about that Jack arse that inserted herself into the middle of the case and is the queen of the case. And, I think she only did that to protect herself. Hey, Mookie, 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 come here, baby. She's just trying to control the narrative and she's trying to keep a close eye on what direction the investigation is going and like, just keep a close eye on all of it. See where they're at, see what they know. Dog is better. Any thoughts on JFK Jr.'s accident? I'll answer that, but I want to do the dogs is better first. Can't make sense of things that don't love. Oh, thank you for that brilliance. I always try to remind myself you're never going to make sense of crazy. It's true. It's like hitting your head against a brick wall. So let's read Mark's comment and then go back to the JFK one. JFK Jr. Dog is better. Hi, all. Thank you. Limping a tiny bit. Jazz, Bex, and everybody. Oh, that's so great. Did you have to take him to the vet or not? Like, did he just step on something? Like maybe something as simple as a thorn. Easy to do, huh? So the thoughts on JFK Jr.'s accident, I'll address that real quick. It is disgusting to me. I don't know of any sabotage at all with that. Never, ever, ever even heard about any conspiracy theories with it. From what I know, having looked into it, he had a cast on his leg. He had a coach. He was new at flying, and the coach didn't want to fly with him that day or couldn't fly with him that day. I think it was the first time that he flew solo, and he still had the cast on. And it was a really bad storm. And I have been out to Nantucket Island, which is right next to Martha's Vineyard, where they were headed. I think they were going from New York City to Martha's Vineyard. But that area is notorious for these storms that are so bad, you can't tell up from down because you're just in a white cloud, and you have to be able to you have to rely on your instrument reading to know how to write the plane. And you have to be highly skilled to do that. So nobody flies in those storms. Everything is grounded because it's all too common to have an accident in a situation like that. And I have always, once I learned a lot of the details about it, it really upset me that he made the choices that he made and that his wife, Caroline, I think it's Caroline, right? Not Carolyn. Caroline was Bissett. Caroline Bissett. She was on the plane with him, and then her sister was on the plane with him. And I don't know how many sisters she had. It might have just been one, but it doesn't even matter if she had 10 sisters. For her family to lose 2 daughters because he made a very poor choice that I think he knew he shouldn't make. I think he was well informed. If I'm remembering right, people at the airport were telling him not to fly, and that if I'm remembering right, his instructor that usually flew with him was refusing to fly with him, and that's why they didn't board the plane with him, because they were just like, no, we need to stay grounded. So that's my thoughts on that. It's just horrible, absolutely horrible, so sad. And very typical of these spoiled brats, let's just say, people that grow up with a silver spoon in their mouth, and they just think that they can do whatever they want, and they don't have to worry about Mother Nature. That pesky Mother Nature. I mean, she'll get you every time. There's Mookie. There's Mookie with the heart on the head. She's so cute. And Coco's still right here. They're both so sweet. Anyway, she modeled for Tommy Hilfiger, acted in the movie Queen of the Damned, Romeo Must Die, and was going to be in The Matrix. Yeah, you're talking about Aaliyah. Classically trained dancer, actress, and singer. I didn't know she was a trained actress. I knew she was extremely talented, and I don't think I've seen her in any of those movies yet, but I'll probably watch them. I mean, she was just gorgeous. She still is an inspiration to so many people. And it's just so sad that she passed away at the very beginning of her career. I mean, it's sad for her, and it's really sad for the culture of art and music, that the you know that the public didn't get to see more of what she had to offer. That's how I feel about like River Phoenix. I sort of parallel it to if somebody like Robert Redford passed away when he was 22. Like James Dean. They have their futures were looking really bright, and then nothing, then dark, the lights out, right? I like Marky Mark. That's cute, seeing red flags. Do you mind that nickname, Mark? I like Mr. Mark too. And you guys are probably familiar with the TV show Mr. Monk. That's a good one. It's hilarious. And Mr. Mark reminds me of Mr. Monk. But Marky Mark is awesome. Mr. Marky Mark, how about that? As well as fashion icon and model. Oh, that reminds me of like Sade, that musician. She was a clothing designer, very successful, when she decided to throw it to the wind and say, you know what, I want to be a rock star instead. And, I want to reinvent how you pronounce the letters of the alphabet. Everyone's always had a tough time with her name because it's like Sade, but it's pronounced Sade. She's awesome. She was a big star in the 90s. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember Sade. Wait, say whatever we want, Mr. Mark, please speak freely. Alrighty then. Awesome. Please. You always have the best things to say, Mark. That's why I love watching your videos. I love having you in my chat, and I love having all of you in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. And isn't it so nice that we can have Mookie and Coco join us? Yay. Okay, I'm going to get caught up with you guys because I don't even know how far behind I am. I'm only just a teensy bit behind. Let's see. Where are we? No, okay, I'm 15 minutes behind. Coco, sorry, baby. I didn't mean to ignore you. Let's see. Okay, I got to get caught up, and I can't miss any of this. It's too funny. And hello, Fred. Hola. Annie Ruler says, Christina, I've never had second thoughts on his accident, just currently talking about possible planned offings. Interesting. I mean, there's just the whole curse of the Kennedys. But yeah, I think that was an accident, actually. But, let me rethink it and come up with a conspiracy theory. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I wish that there weren't people conspiring to take people out, but we all know that that's a very real part of the world, especially when you're dealing with the elite. Don't say anything on my channel, LOL. That is a great comment, Mark. You are always cracking me up. I love it. What, they make you take off shoes if going down? We lost a friend in Pennsylvania on 9/11. I think they still do. Maybe they stopped doing that, but yeah, it was mostly because the slides that you go down in, and that might just be like a water landing. I don't know. No, I think the slides for land, crash landing on land would do it too. That the slides are like balloons, like they're blow ups, and so your shoes can pop the slide. So that's why they take everybody's shoes. Oh, it'd be so scary. I knew somebody who died in a plane crash from Los Angeles to Ohio. She actually was a shop owner in Columbus. It was called Byzantium. It was an awesome shop. And then when she passed away, it didn't last too much longer after that, and it sucked losing her, and especially losing her shop. Because I didn't really know her well as a person. I just knew her shop really well as a jewelry designer. I bought some of my supplies from her. Let's see, when I would go to Columbus. Columbus is an awesome city, you guys. Anyone who hasn't been, it's a huge city and there's a lot of riffraff going on, but it's a very amazing city. Like it's like the center for a lot of big businesses. Like Mead Pencils was their center. It's the center for Imes Pet Food, center for Abercrombie and Fitch, which we'll probably be hearing more about in True Crime. Um, Center for all that stuff, like Wendy's and Victoria's Secret, and yeah, you just go on and on and on. There's so much. And then you've got Ohio State University with second largest university in the country still, and big football university. Annie, what the hell? Mr. Chit Chat, you imploring honor and silence. Oh, that's cute. I know we make so many good jokes out of that. I mean, that whole thing was just so weird. Really, Lindsay talking to the internet trolls as she thought of us at her daughter's celebration of life. That was sus AF. Like, that's just so unreal. Like, absolutely, I don't buy any of it. I believe it was Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, the Queen movie. So good. I was fascinated to find out all the careers of all the musicians in Queen. Like, one of them was a dentist. Like, they all had really good jobs, and then they formed the band, and then they got really big. I want to be a stay-at-home cat mom. That's so cute. I know. I'm glad that I can be home with the dogs with Coco's illness, and like I could sit with her, when she's straight out of surgery, because we might be having more surgeries. Hopefully not, but we'll see. I'm asking Jazz if she felt JFK Jr. was anything besides an accident. Yes. During making her video Rock the Boat, it said she was watching herself on the monitor, had a feeling that this was her last big moment. I believe she mentioned it to someone on set. Wow. So that was the name of the music video that they made. I don't even know it, I don't think. Just so you don't dress like one, seeing red flags. Dress like one what? Oh, a stay-at-home cat mom. I'm glad I went back because I was not going to go back for that comment because I was like, what? Just so you don't dress like one? What is that referring to? That's hilarious. Don't dress like a stay-at-home cat mom. Yeah, I'll try not to dress like a stay-at-home dog mom. A stay-at-home cancer dog mom. Let's see. I have an adult child and a 16-year-old. I always joke to my husband that I'm just going to be a stay-at-home mom and not work anymore. Oh, that's cute. That's a good one. But yeah, I mean, there's so much work to be done around the house, it's not valued the way it should be. If you paid somebody to come into your home and do that work, it would be a pretty penny. But if the women do it, then it's not considered work. If the men do it, they get a gold medal, right? They're rock stars if they do it. I remember that Katie Bug. She was highly intuitive. And who was highly intuitive? Katie Bug. Oh yeah, Aaliyah. So, so freaking sad. And so, Jay Z, I think, was trying to date her when around that time. Like she had just given him the brush off, and Beyonce was just hooking up with him. So Aaliyah was 22. I think Beyonce was 20. I think Jay Z was a bit older. Um, he's probably in his early 50s now. So that was 20 years ago. So he would have been like maybe in his early 30s, hanging out with these people that were barely of age. I mean, at 20, that's a couple of years into not being jailbait. But allegedly, I think he met Beyonce when she was like 12 or 13, right? Um, I'm a stay at home grandma, no more working for the man. That's awesome. I love that you jump around. I have ADD, so it seems normal to my brain. Oh, good. I know I've wondered about ADD too, but I think it's overdiagnosed. I'm not saying for you it is, but I remember as a mental health professional when it first became like the diagnosis du jour, as I like to say. And one of the questions for like self-screening was, do you hate waiting in long lines? Like literally, like who doesn't hate waiting in a long line? But do you hate it? Like hate it, like capital H. I mean, yeah, I hate it, so I must need Ritalin. One of my favorite jokes about that is South Park. Ritalin, riddle out. Ritalin, riddle out, right? Um, let's see. Brain, congratulations. Not to Vegas until the 27th, so zero rush. They're a few weeks. Okay, good to know, Annie. Then I can get them in the mail with the Bobo tea earrings. That again, third reminder, the Bobo tea earrings will be gifted to the first person that comments when we wrap up. And maybe we need to start thinking about wrapping up. We're just about an hour and a half in. Just third time showing them, but they're just so cute. Just like this little girl. Just so cute. Can't show her too much, can I? She's so silly. I like to say she's only like a quarter Chiweenie. No, she's half Chiweenie. She's quarter wiener dog, but she thinks she's all wiener dog. She's so funny. She looks like a wiener dog. She acts like a wiener dog. She's just ridiculous. I love her to pieces. And I love Coco too. Coco's down at my feet. Okay, so I'm getting caught up. Here we go. Curse. It wasn't a storm. That's not true. Oh, the with the Valens or with JFK. Tell me, Sunset Salty Sage. I'm gonna get caught up. Um, okay, thanks. JFK Jr. estate paid Bissett family. Yes, the Bissets sued for wrongful death. They probably won about $31 million, probably about the same that the Goldmans and Nicole Brown Simpson's families got. Now, did the Goldmans get awarded the 31 million, or was that the two families combined in the OJ Simpson? The dog is adorable, and Coco is too. She's just too big to come up onto my lap. We'll get her into the screen soon. I don't know if I stand up, I might be able to get her to stand on the chair. Coco, come here, baby. Can you stand right here, baby? Coco, come here. There, I'm going to knock everything over. Come right here. Come here. Coco, up. Coco, up. Coco. No, she says, I can't do that, Mama. Come on. Come on, Coco. Come on, baby. Up. Come on. If I had a snack. Come on, baby. Come on. Can I pull you up? I know everyone just wants to see you, sweetheart. Come here. Oh, come here. Oh, I got you. We almost got her. So close. Here, I'm going to do it. I'm going to probably knock a whole bunch of stuff over. Let's see. There. Can you see Coco? There's a Coco. There's a Coco. There's a Coco bean. Oh, isn't she so sweet? She is so cute. She looks like a tiny Rottweiler. I'm so happy I got to show her finally. Finally, Coco, here, let's stand up. Is that too uncomfortable? Dear, give everyone a good look at how pretty you are. And now we got Mookie like, no, I'm the pretty one. Okay, you want to jump down? You want to jump down, baby? And I didn't even knock very much over. How cool is that? Oh, she's back under my feet. Mook, come. Okay. Come here. I have to pick her up just so she's not being an annoying yappy dog. Come on, baby. Come on, Mook. Okay, forget it then. Forget it. You had your chance. All right. How far behind you guys? I'm still like 12 minutes behind. Let's see. Dog is adorable. Went to school in Chicago for performing arts. Aaliyah? Because, yeah, wasn't she from Detroit? Agree. And Brandon Lee, Bob Marley, Bruce Lee, my heroes. And wasn't Brandon Lee connected to Aaliyah? Like he was in the last movie that she was in or something? As well as Aaliyah. So, yeah. Interesting, huh? Sade, striking, the Irish spell wonky like that. Oh, is it the Irish? Is she Irish? Sade? I just knew she was like European. Let's see. She's an amazing songwriter and singer. And I mean, the lady just has so much style. The only thing that has made me rage in the past 5 years is doing my taxes this year in such denial. I'm here just a lot. Oh, just roaring a lot. Hey, Shan. I'm sorry. Yeah, here we are, the 11th, and it's the final stretch, huh? Oh, yes. Hey, Mary. Nice to see you. Just wanted to let you know I'm listening. Can't type. Thanks, girls. My kid made up a new swear word every step of the way when he came to tell me he finally finished his. Oh, that's so funny. I know. I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever done my taxes. I used to, before I met my husband, I always hired an accountant because I had my own business. So it wasn't just, straightforward. It was a nightmare. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to highlight that last one. Sorry, my brain's starting to poop out. I'm just like, da, 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 da. See, that's what happens at 90 minutes. Expired. Lights out. Okay, I can do it. I didn't realize there was a minimum of 10 categories for expenses. It's going to be a few hours. Oh, no. Yikes. What men stay at home, when men stay at home, they are exceptional at helping mom with her kids. I know. When we moved from Seattle to Ohio, we were both kind of in our high-powered like dream jobs for 10 years in, both of us. So me, it was my private practice. My husband was a biologist for Washington State. And we didn't want to leave our jobs, but we couldn't really take them with us. I tried with my licensure, but there were problems with converting it from one state to another. So I'm still a licensed mental health professional, but my degree is from California. I practiced in Washington State, and then Ohio. Just it's like I'm still working on it. Here we are, like 15 years later. So I haven't given up, but, because I had 3 kids. So I was like, well, I'd hoped that my husband would stay home with the kids and that I could be the breadwinner, honestly. But it went the other way, which is fine. I mean, I like to say it's the hardest job I've ever had. It really is. And especially, when someone says, oh, so you don't work? When my thing as a mother is that going to work is like a paid vacation. Seriously, any job is easier than being the mom, in my opinion. So any job is like a paid vacation. It doesn't matter if you work at a gas station. That's a paid vacation. Seriously. So That's the way I see it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Um, yeah, that's a very good comment. I was diagnosed ADD at 5 and then ADHD at 13 and 17 again, then again at 26. I've definitely got squirrels, LOL. And not just squirrels, but burning squirrels. It's like Burning Man, right? Will OJ's estate now have to pay Goldman family? That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that this will be finally uh, some relief for the Goldman family and for the Brown family too. I mean, he owed them money as well, didn't he? I'm not 100% sure, but was it the Goldman family that won 31 million, or was it the two families combined that were awarded 31 million? That if they've seen any of it, it hasn't been much. Love her eyebrows. Oh, the dog or mine? You know, my eyebrows look funny as heck with my glasses and the lighting sometimes. I'm sure you guys have noticed. It'll like look like I've got these like severe angry eyebrows just from the way the glasses and the light hits them at times. It's so funny when I notice that. I'm like, got to keep moving my head so it doesn't look like I got the angry eyebrows. All right. Let's see. Coco, yeah, she does have the cutest eyebrows. She's such a sweetheart. So she's 10 and Mookie's 8. And yeah, Brendan Lee, the Crow. Right. That was, oh, the Curse of the Crow. That's the answer to that question, Sunset Salty Sage. Right. So the yellow Power Ranger worked on the Crow and then died in a terrible car accident going to visit family up in Northern California. I think it like the beginning of filming The Crow 2 or something. It might not relate to Crow 2, but anyway, she was the Yellow Power Ranger. So that was part of the Curse of the Crow. And then in Alec Baldwin's movie Rust, his director, Dave Halls, um, he worked on The Crow. And so that joke of the Curse of the Crow, he carried that with him over there to Santa Fe filming Rust. And yeah, that came up a lot in Helena Hutchinson's story. And I hope that there's justice for her husband and her son. I mean, they deserve, I think, an award of every penny of Alec Baldwin's and then some. And he should be in prison as far as I'm concerned. I just don't believe his story. I think there's a lot more to it. I think the whole thing with the other producer named Ryan yelling at Helena, cursey words the night before she dies in this terrible accident. And I think Alec Baldwin is trying to say that he didn't unalive her, that it was the medics who unalived her with their rough handling of her. Like, no, she expired right there, right after she said, "This is not good at all." And then she was gone. I mean, the life came out of her instantaneously. And by the time they loaded her up onto the gurney, I mean, with her feet splayed and splayed unevenly, like one was splayed like a deceased person and the other one was, I mean, it was almost worse than when they're both splayed out, because they can splay out just when you're like sleeping, but they were like askew. I mean, that told me she was completely so sad. But we also have to remember it took, I mean, there was a medic on her immediately who was doing life saving measures, but then it took the ambulance at least 20 minutes to get there. And then it was an hour from the time that 911 was called until the medical chopper became airborne. She was way gone, in my opinion. Squirrels on Fire. I love that. I have ADHD, and they would give me coffee before I went to bed to calm me down. Oh, too funny. Riddle in, riddle out. I have ADHD. I have lots of squirrels all day long. Too cute. Oh, and I have squirrel earrings I'm going to wear soon, but I can't give them away. But I have so much cool jewelry to give away. You guys, this is going to be my new thing. I'm going to give away stuff a lot. Like, and I'm going to give away some of the home decor too, because I have way too much cool home decor. In fact, look what I have here, you guys. Oh my goodness. Who remembers the ironing board? You haven't seen the ironing board in forever. The ironing board is cute with the roses on top, but what's really cute is the little bright red iron. So I'm going to give this away, and then you can iron your squirrel clothes, right? It's a squirrel iron. So that'll be next. There's a little preview. But yeah, lots of cool stuff like that. Like, remember my silly bunny rabbits? You haven't seen those in a year, and I'll pull those out and give away a couple of silly bunnies, because I actually have 2 sets now because I love them so much. So I'll give you guys one of the sets, the boy and the girl with the like floppy legs. They're freaking adorable. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap up. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Love to you all. I hope you have a really good afternoon. I'm hoping to do a yoga class tonight. I really got my butt kicked over the weekend, and my first yoga class after that butt kicking weekend was yesterday. It was tough, very tough, but I'm hoping I'll be good for it tonight. So, blessing, seeing red flags. I'd rather have the squirrel than not have them. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, they are fun, aren't they? We can all have a squirrel party. Blessings to you, squirrels on fire, and I 100% agree. Makes life interesting. It does drive my loved ones crazy at times. Yeah, I for the most part, I think it's just a lot of fun, and yeah, keeping them harnessed. But as long as you keep yourself busy, it's like if there's not enough to do, then that can be bad. And like with yoga, it can be hard to sit still. So that can be a challenge, and it's a good challenge to have. Just meditating and calming the brain. I call it monkey brain when you're trying to meditate and your thoughts are just like going one direction and another. My home decor true crime channel, exactly, Annie, 100%. Home decor jewelry yoga true crime channel. Goodbye, Christine. Just pierced my own skin with a thorn accidentally. WTF. Ouch. I'm sorry. That sucks. Thorns are nasty. Have a day, everyone. Cheers to it's Friday tomorrow. Yes, and tomorrow with the vet situation, I probably wouldn't be doing a live. I'm not sure. But I think I'll plan on not doing one tomorrow, and I'll plan on doing one on Sunday. So how about that? Is that a deal? I mean, you never know; things might change, but that's my plan. Is that the next time I do a live with you guys, it'll be Sunday. I'll try to post and put a picture of the ironing board as my thumbnail, and then announce my giveaway. So I can try to troll for more subs, right? Like, who doesn't want a free squirrel ironing board and iron? Come on. No, I'll be honest with you guys. I could say that it was my kids when they were little, but I bought it for myself when they were too old to care. But yeah, if anyone thinks I'm weird, I'll just say, "Oh yeah, it was just my kids and I just kept it." But yeah, it's hilarious. And it's a really good quality iron and ironing board. I don't know if it's American Girl or what. I don't think it's American Girl. I think it's like probably a Target brand. Anyway, you don't care, do you? Well, for anyone who's interested, I will put the brand, because somebody who doesn't win it, who wants it, it's ogdolls.com. Is that OG? I think it's OG. Original Gangster? It's Battat. Battat. I don't know what the OG stands for other than Original Gangster. Okay, I'm going to stop with this and I'm going to continue with the signing off part. You guys don't want to watch me read the back of my doll ironing board, do you? I got better things to do. Let's get on with it. All right. Yes, American Girl Dolls. Is that what it is? OG, original gangster, American Girl Dolls. It all fits together because isn't American Girl Dolls headquartered in Chicago, or am I wrong about that? Okay. It was in the hoodie pocket. Ouch. Power finger too. Rose thorn from eons ago out of nowhere. Oh my goodness. Ouch. I hope it didn't go up under your nail. What are the odds? What the heck? Cash me on Sunday. How about da? And just in case anyone's interested, I do have Cash Apps on my channel description. What do I have? Venmo and Cash App, I think, are the two. If anyone wants to donate, I'm getting low on ink. I had to, because my computer did say it was getting low on ink when I was printing that 4-page letter that Amanda Knox wrote. Aren't you guys so glad I read you that letter? And I do want to give a shout out to True Crime Rocket Science because almost everything I know about that case, I know from him. So definitely want to give him credit. And he did do a video last week reading it. So I only realized that after I had already decided to do the same thing. So I was late to that party. And I thought, that's all right. Not everybody that is on my chat probably watches his channel. And even if they do, we'll have an interesting discussion here about it and all the other cases that we love to discuss. Do I have anything in my notes that I need to share? So, yes, I do, of course. Is it Geronda Pace was one of the people that filed a lawsuit against R. Kelly, and 11 of the 48 counts against him are her counts, I think. But there is 48 victims as well. But I think it was, or maybe it was 11 additional counts. Anyway, it's just a lot. And Geronda was, I want to say 13 when she met him. She's in the R. Kelly season 2, maybe season 1 as well, but definitely season 2 because that's what I'm finishing up right now. And then took 2 years. Oh, she's the one who talked to the FBI for 2 years straight, you guys. 2 years straight before they did anything. Frustrating. At least something finally happened. Yeah. Geronda Pace and Joycelyn. Can't read my writing to get the last name. Joycelyn, that starts with an S, that is the one that's sitting on the park bench, the last episode of season 2, 21 minutes in. So I'll see if I can get a link to that to put in the description here. And signing off. So thanks again. I hope you have a great day. I hope you guys can all take really good care of yourselves. Most importantly, stay calm, relaxed, hydrated, nourished, well rested, and be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and hopefully no aches and pains. And voila. All right. Light and love. And I got to show you the necklace too, because this is one that I did make and I'm really proud of it. Again, it's not like anything I've ever made. But you know I didn't make the Bobo tea earrings. Let's see. This is so cool. The stone is real. The blue is real. It's not dyed. I bought that stone in my friend's shop. It was expensive, but I had to have it. And she doesn't cut me any deals because we're not that good of friends. But I'd never seen anything like it. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I was like, why am I buying this? It's so expensive. I have enough jewelry. I don't need another project. I had no idea what I was going to do. And I came home and I made this like probably within an hour. and it's got one of my favorite beads. Well, both of these other beads. This one is a cool blue, and then this one is another stone, the green. I don't know if you can see it that well because the way everything's like shaky, 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 shake, shake. There. Now get everything still. So that's so cool. I'm going to turn it over. Mother Nature, man. Nature is the finest artist. I was convinced that it had to be a dyed stone. Phew. Anyway, crocodile tears, musty for buckets. Oh, you guys are laughing. Misty for money. And yeah, don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. So yeah, I am low on ink. So if you want me to keep being able to print things to read to you, kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, I will gratefully accept any support financial that anyone feels like they'd like to give. That's fabulous. And if you're not into that, that's totally fabulous too. I'm so happy that you're watching, and that helps me a great bit. Blue Flash Labradorite, or I think it's the second one, Azurite. I think it's that. Tanzanite. I'll have to look it up because yeah, I never did figure it out. Labradorite, Blue Flash. I think it is the craziest freaking blue in the world. Yeah, I put photographs of it in my community tab back when I first made it. So if you're interested in seeing a close up of it, it's way back. It's probably 6 months at least. Could be so many different stones or gems based on its profile. I was looking, you was looking for a bluish purple gem behind the stone. Yeah, I know. The glass, I think it's just glass, the one that's kind of bluish, and I love that kind of color of like the bluish green, kind of like a sea foam almost. Anyway, I really am signing off. So thanks so much for joining me, people. Much love, much light. And yeah, more prayers for Coco, if I may ask. That ironing board is precious. I used to have it in my set last year. I just couldn't help it. It's so goofy. It was always falling over though, because the plastic legs are too long. So I got sick of it and took it out. Yeah, I do love the ironing board, but I think it's time to give it a new home. So it's up for adoption. So let's see. Even could be low light or and praying for Coco. So you know what? I'm not going to give away the ironing board the next video. I'll give away something else. I'll put a photograph of it in the thumbnail. Sandra Lankford, I'd like to send you the ironing board, please, if you'll allow me to. Front one looks like lapis. Yeah, I don't think it's lapis, the big one or one of the little ones. Because yeah, lapis is more like a royal blue, kind of navy blue. But Sandra, I would love to send you the iron and the ironing board as long as it's in the States. I'd hate to send that international. So I think I have your address from something else, don't I? You won something recently. But if you'll email it to me, just in case I can't find the email that you sent, because my email gets full and I delete, and I don't want to hold on to people's addresses anyway. I don't want to be tempted to stalk you. Of course, I'm kidding. I would never, ever, ever do anything like that. It's crazy to even joke about. On that, you guys, yeah, careful what you joke about, right? Light and love. See you next time. Thanks again. Take care.